start recording. This is gonna be so fucking annoying. It's okay, as long as the game is fun. Isn't that just the funniest thing? Okay, either way. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. Mine was exhausting, but very productive. So that's a very good thing. Now let's start the game. So yeah. Why can't I press record with the game running? Because if I click out of the game into OBS, it crashes and my shortcuts don't work at the moment. Because OBS, like every time I restart the PC, I have to reset OBS to admin start to make that work. And yeah, it's very annoying. So I cannot use any recording shortcuts, anything like that. So I need to close the game, start recording beforehand, and then open the game again, which is great. It's okay. But yeah, let's actually start the game. So I decided instead of Mountain Blade Warband, I'm gonna play Sherlock Holmes versus Arsène Lupin, or Sherlock Holmes Nemesis. It is a bit of an older game, but I decided, like, in the row, I was first thinking of if I want to start in the beginning, which would have been the Mummy and the Case of the Silver Earrings, but I decided, looking on the graphics and things like that, that it looked too first game Shadow of the Tomb Raider esque, and I decided maybe I'm gonna play it for myself, probably not on stream. And yeah, this one is pretty good game. We're gonna in the future play The Devil's Daughter, Testament of Sherlock Holmes, other way around, and then the like other one that I always forget the name of, but like, yeah, we're gonna play them too eventually, but this one is technically an older one, so, you know, let's start with this. And hello there, Benjamin, hope you had a lovely weekend, nice to see you. So, new game? Yes. You're undertaking to portray Sherlock Holmes, the famous consulting detective that was very delayed. Of 221B Baker Street, London. During this case, you must demonstrate both sagacity and calm. Observe well the items around you, and don't hesitate to click on them once you have the required information. You will obtain comments that will help in your hunt. Do not forget to interrogate anybody who may be able to inform you, choose the right questions, and pay heed to their answers. Okay. Show yourself that you aren't caught short by your adversary. Arsène Lupin will throw a number of challenges at you, which will demand you and your subtle... wow, I cannot read. Which will demand you are subtle and methodical. Thus, in the course of your investigations, you will need to pencil and paper. Certain riddles will require reflection worthy of your hero, and will be challenging. At certain moments, you will need to type a keyword in response to a question in order to continue the adventure. You're at liberty to consult your notes in order to help yourself. Do not forget to read the documents that you will have gathered and glance through Sherlock's notes. They're all important. In order to advance your inquest, you will have at your disposition plans and maps which will permit you to teleport by clicking on given points. You may equally make your character run by double-clicking with the left mouse button. England's honor is at stake. Do not disappoint your adversary. Did I accidentally click over a text? I couldn't tell, because like it didn't react in the beginning. Either way, not that important. Old graphics. But hey, we have Windows and stuff that's more than Nintendo can do in the Pokemon games without having absolute abysmal FPS numbers. Sorry, was that mean? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to be mean to Nintendo. I didn't read the text. I was focusing on picking up food on my fork. But yeah, I decided Mountain Blade was a fun game to play, but I feel like on stream, like at least the older ones aren't worth playing as long. I guess like Minecraft and things would probably be more watchable, though it was very addicting, so I'm gonna play it in my own time. July 14th, 1895. 221B Baker Street. And this is a game which has the older portrayal of Sherlock Holmes.
It looks to be the beginning of a lovely day, Holmes. There's nothing like
There technically is one of the timeline younger Sherlock Holmes ones, but that's fine.
Would you care to take a ride up the Thames today?
I think not, Watson.
Listen, Holmes, your mood has been getting progressively worse for the past 2 weeks. I know you, and I am certain that something is bothering you.
I didn't expect voice acting in this game.
From Switzerland, would it?
We would already be on a boat heading towards the continent were that the case, my dear Watson.
Very well, then, what is it? Let me guess. For the past 2 weeks, the papers have talked of nothing other than this French thief, Arsène Lupin. He's been making all of the police officers on the continent look like complete idiots.
English pronunciation of French words is hilarious sometimes.
These articles.
My dear Watson.
I've put my finger on it, haven't I? I know you well. Something tells me that you will not entertain talk of this Lupin for some time. Do you recall his latest feat? Using an alias, he seduced a young Italian princess in order to rob her of a priceless set of diamond jewelry that once belonged to the Medicis. These jewels were to be part of the lady's dowry on the occasion of her marriage to the son of a wealthy, influential
Medicis
Sicilian.
Medici. Oh my goodness.
Having committed the crime,
Interesting
word for the local
pronunciations,
police,
honestly.
explaining that there was no other way for the charming lass to escape a marriage of convenience with, I quote, an uncultivated and uncouth boor without the least refinement. Since then, the lady has been confined to a convent, and rumour has it that the two outraged fathers have jointly offered a sum of countless millions of liras for the head, the rest of the body being optional, of the man who is responsible for their dishonour. Are you acquainted with the reputation of the Italian criminal milieu? Why, another letter from the zoo about those missing birds, as if we were going to be running around the whole of London chasing chickens. As I was saying, are you acquainted with the reputation of the Italian criminal milieu? This Arsène Lupin must be in hiding somewhere, surrounded by bottles of champagne and stolen treasures. How foolhardy and arrogant. Oh, these French. However, he didn't pursue this foolishness to the point of risking stepping onto British soil.
Has the cat got your tongue, Watson? What?
Also, I love the harpoon over Sherlock's room.
This letter on the table. Holmes, read it.
So, his name is obviously not as pronounced as Watson would suggest it. It's Arsène Lupin. But yeah, I think it's kind of hilarious. I love like how like pronunciation in games like have gotten better and better, but the old ones are so hilarious. Like, if you look at them, they were good. They were very good. So, July 14th, 1895, Arsène Lupin's threat. Before I begin, please excuse any grammatical or spelling errors that you might notice. Your language isn't my native tongue, as I come from the continent, France to be exact. In addition, my singular subject of conversation, whether they be oral or written, are the most exquisite food and wine, the noblest arts, and the sublimest woman. The whole world knows that you people of Her most gracious majesty do not produce or even discern any manifestation of aesthetic intelligence and civilization that sets men far apart from beasts. Ah, yes, the typical French against English people. Oof. Thus, the opportunities to practice your language are sporadic and brief. What use is there to linger with a lackey or a maid? But look, I see I have made a mistake, or rather an execrable? Execrable? Mistranslation. I said, you people of the most gracious blah blah blah. Should have said, the people of blah 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 other than you. How can I include you in this half-ruddy face, half-pallid crowd reeking of brine and cheap beer? Wow, that is, his formulation is way less gentlemanlike than I would have thought. You stand apart an icon. Having followed your exploits for some time, and being interested in your unusual personality, I started to see in you a man of intelligence, ingenuity, and singular refinement. The incredible result in your activities and the manner in which you achieved them are marked with the seal of genius. Believe me, despite the lamentable opinion that I hold for the inhabitants of your island, I have for you an admiration without limit, which reaches its apogee recently when I discovered you have a French ancestor. What unlucky star brought you to the world elsewhere than in the motherland? The motherland I call my own, that should have been your own? Perhaps the gods desire that your presence on this island brings up the intellectual average that was so low it bordered on the absurd. The business that brings me to write this letter may bring an answer to this question. You see, events without antecedent will occur in London in the week to come, beginning on the very night of the day on which you read this letter. The purpose of these events is to bring to light fraud, the arrogance and vanity of the English. Enough with the hard-boring composure that the English present us when passion should be freely expressed. Enough of the derisive confidence in England's impregnability, which is displayed by all of your politicians and soldiers. The English fortress is being protected by sea, serving as moats. Enough of your supposed symbols of majesty and grandeur, of spirits which are in fact merely the fruits of looting and plundering. England has measured the world by its dingy, superior smile for far too long. Thus Arsène Lupin. He misspelled his own name. That is interesting. Obviously, that was the writers of the game. Have pledged to get rid of the smile, and that end in a week to come. I pledge to steal 5 of the most representational symbols of the alleged English grandeur here in London. Once these auspicious achievements have been accomplished, we will exhibit the trophies for the world to see and will reveal the smallness of a nation incapable of preserving its pride. England will become the laughingstock of all nations, from the largest to the smallest, and will have to swallow its pride and lower its head for millennia to come. Wow. Imagine these self-righteous and perfidious faces who ordinarily parade the fact that they are one of Her Majesty's people will henceforward hide their origins. Being English will no longer be grounds for pride, but rather shame. In brief, the debts will be paid. You are perhaps asking yourself why I have chosen to share with you my vision, which many who don't know me would consider mad. After all, if my former praises are well founded, you are certainly the only person in England capable of stopping my plan. Like myself, you're fully aware of the inefficiency and the flagrant lack of imagination that plagues your police service. The reason for this letter is eminently narcissistic. No exceptional artist desires to produce their work for an uncultured public incapable of appreciating the true value of his powers and talent. You have found the ideal spectator, and I wish for you to follow the stages of my consecration step by step. In fact, I would almost wish for you to put yourself on my path and in vain to stop me from committing these thefts. But you're a busy man who doesn't like defeat. What a shame. If despite everything the adventure tempts you, anyway, I shall leave you a few verses that deal with tonight's target. Wanted to say Targent, but that's, a completely different game. All across France, everyone know, in the blind kingdom you only need one eye for the crown. You treat us like blind men, it shows. 'Twas the one-eyed, one-armed man who brought us down. It is true that we failed, though we tried again. Our fate was nailed, his immortality on our pain. One of the Spanish caves, the detestable pride that bangs around you like drapes of suffering makes you snide. Hold on. There we go. An adversary came along in order to protect victory. We were put in the wrong, and the day made history. Save the pain and defeat, the worst in this game is that the hero we meet carries a French name. Clearly that vengeance sound what I have in mind for this traitor, sitting at his master's feet like a hound, is to be run aground. Oh, my honor tonight to hand will break free the binding, so that all may understand our victory will take wings. Arseno Lutimbo? Okay, is he doing that on purpose, like misspelling his name to give us a hint? Also, is he meaning Adrian Carton de Viat? Like, it's like the most famous one-eyed, one-armed man I can remember when it comes to history. The only reason I can remember him is actually because of a Sabaton song. But yeah, how do you close this?
Holmes, this is truly unbelievable. Surely this cannot be taken seriously.
It's possible, Watson, that this letter is nothing but a prank. However, a small chance exists that both the challenge and the threat are real.
What will you do?
First, I'm going to enjoy the breakfast Mrs. Hudson has prepared. If you would be so good, Watson, as to clarify some of the riddles in the letter. Firstly, if Arsène Lupin is actually the author, as he states, why does he sign with another name? When it comes to the poem, even if an answer seems straightforward, we must be quite certain. What would the target of tonight's theft be if this letter turns out to be accurate? We have one day to find the solution and to take preventative measures. You could go see Barnes, the bookstore in Glentworth Street. Surely they'll have something that will be informative.
No, because like also he has a French name, but you know that would make sense in that case for like fought against them. Because I know he fought in the First and I think Second World War, so it would make sense if it was Adrian Carton de Villa. By the way, Unkillable Soldier, very good song from Sabaton. Would recommend. Okay. Oh, Watson vanished. Also, that eye is kind of unsettling. Oh, we are Watson. Okay, never mind.
Holmes's Table for Experiments. A motley collection.
Yeah, actually, like the interior of this room, like, is pretty persistent across most of the games that have been released for like Sherlock Holmes, which I really love. But yeah, the harpoon up here from the Black Peter case, which is the case where Sherlock Holmes ran for London, bloody with pig's blood, and the harpoon casually, you know, because that's not gonna cause any issues. But yeah, sorry, I was reading a message that somebody sent me. Let's actually head out, I guess. And stairway hasn't really changed much either. So we have some kind of war depiction. Ladies with dog. Some of them look familiar. Whatever. This one looks so much familiar. think I saw an Instagram thing about this one. It has like a part of another person standing here, if I remember correctly. This is likely Mrs. Hudson's room, where we cannot go to. This is so weird to navigate, because it's like so delayed in a way. Let's go to this guy.
No, I have nothing to ask him. No, I have nothing to ask him.
Okay. I mean, it looked similar to what we've seen in the other games, just like very much so boxier. Like, this villa was more on like a corner street, and these streets were more like less straight. But you know, with like the things we have, I think makes sense. Let's see, I have the map. Can I... Okay, this is... Barnes Bookstore, okay. So the same where we went last time too. Oh, that is how you... Okay, I'm a bit confused. Why did it change how I'm controlling Watson? There must have been like a thing I clicked. Not that one. Not that one. There's a lot of keys that open the inventory. I have no clue. Ah! Found it. Didn't they say double clicking makes me go faster? Ah, okay, it is shift.
I have no interest in going there.
Oh yeah, Barnes was on the side, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Isn't that Barnes? No, that's a golden lion. Said it was something with a name on it, I guess.
I have no interest in going there.
Makes sense. Oh, look at that. That is very low contrast. Okay, the layout hasn't really changed either.
Lady. Oh, what a mess.
Interesting. I mean, the like look of it changed a bit, and the flower lady's interior did change. And like it's like the Okay, what the heck? That was super random. What the heck was that? Hi, what the heck did you do?
Hello, Dr. Watson? How are you? I didn't hear you enter.
Are you busy? Am I disturbing you?
Not at all. I was researching, but if you came to see me, it must be that you're looking for something specific. Perhaps I can help you?
Strange affair.
Very strange affair. Bewildering even has brought me to see you. An affair involving a Spanish cape and a one-eyed, one-armed man.
Most certainly. You will find the works dealing with naval history on one of the shelves somewhere.
Thank you. I'll go look.
On some of the shelves somewhere, I'm totally like a... a helpful bookstore owner, you know, makes sense. Moses' last voyage upon his return, he astounded many with his taste for raw meat and his sudden onslaught of salvation when he quoted his housekeeper. Local college students or uninformed conscripts passed in front of the windows of the living room. He died 2 years later to a fatal fall while attempting to batter the weathercock-top Edinburgh Bell Tower with a sculpture that he had made out of clay embroidered ships representing the supposed offspring of Duke Kent and a hedgehog. Oh, Nelson, huh? Viscount Nelson. Born in Birdham Thrope, Norfolk, in 1758, we owe Admiral Nelson some of the most beautiful pages of the Royal Navy's history. Charged with intercepting Bonaparte en route for Egypt, he conquered the French fleet in Battle of the Nile, which Nelson was also like kind of like the founder, or like if you've ever watched Mimi Rutherford as Miss Marple, he was like, you know, mentioned as the founder of the like young men's navy group where they teach young boys, like, or younger boys, naval warfare, things like that. Which makes sense, he was a larger... Why did I think of... I mean, yeah, makes sense, because he was never a naval officer. Not content to rest on his laurels, in 1799 he recaptured Naples from the revolutionaries and was made Duke of Bronte. In 1800, the death of his unrivaled seaman, who had already given his body in service of his country, he had one arm amputated and lost his sight in one eye, was his crowning moment. He died triumphing over Admiral Villeneuve during the Battle of Trafalgar, despite being inferior in terms of numbers, but through the grace of courage and audacity without compare, a representative tale of Nelson occurred during a former battle when Flag Captain warned him that the commander was signaling retreat. Admiral Nelson, convinced they were to be victorious, held the telescope on his blind eye and said, "I really do not see the signal." Thus he continued to battle, coming up victoriously. Luckily for him, his stroke... Okay, so this Nelson.
Here's my book, The Great English Sailors.
I guess eating raw meat made him go crazy?
And
Excuse
Question
me,
mark?
my dear Dr. Watson, but I am in need of tranquility.
well, farewell, Barnes.
I guess Carton Leviat, as I mentioned, would have kind of fitted also. But I guess they meant Nelson, which, you know, makes sense, but both are very famous women. And, like, the time frame kind of matched for both of them, so... You know? They did put a decent bit of details on the books, but also, oof, these are bent. Ow! And these are all hardcore. Like, look at how bent they are. Chunk, chunk. Oh my goodness. Old games, I swear. Either way, let's try and find our way back, which I'm totally not lost at all. No, I'm not lost. I know exactly where I am. Okay. Baker Street, like in the original and all the movies, was way more populated than this, but I guess that's all we get for this game. Because of safe space, I presume.
Now tell me, Watson, what progress have you made? Have you found the meaning of the mysterious signature?
I have not yet found that. Oh! Lord... no, Admiral Nelson? Is it an anagram?
Your intentions are good, Watson, but you've missed everything of importance.
Horatio Nelson, okay. Horatio Nelson. Oh, I can type. That is
It's an anagram, Holmes.
very nice.
The letters in our
I mean, you don't have to
standard
pick up the
email
letters with the
used to
keys.
spell out Horatio Nelson.
That's a welcome confirmation. No doubt the target for the theft is somehow connected with the Battle of Trafalgar, won by Admiral Lord Nelson at the expense of the French. Nelson, who lost an eye
Probably
in an
his
armed
sword?
battle, has a statue high atop a column in Trafalgar Square. It says that the object of the theft is sitting at his master's feet. There's nothing to steal on this column. We have a map of London here somewhere. Let's see if we can find a site of interest near Trafalgar Square.
Interesting.
It was in this statue that we found the famous Black Pearl of the Borgias.
Except for Sherlock Holmes absolutely obliterated that, so I don't think they find much more.
Pottery. Holmes has an interesting taste in reading.
Hello, map. I guess not hello, map?
Ha! I found it at last. The map of London.
So, according to you, what is there to steal in Trafalgar Square? Show me on the map, Watson. So, according to you, what is there to steal in Trafalgar Square? Show me on the map, Watson.
Yeah, but how? Like... I don't know. This is the Cavendish Square. It, like, blocks all of this. How am I supposed to... Oh. Lincoln and Field Court of Justice. British Museum, Trafalgar Square.
The only location visible is the National Gallery of Painting, which faces the column.
Why not?
Also,
Man wants to steal
bet that
painting.
one of the 5 is gonna be the British Crown Jewels.
Tour of the National Gallery. While you find Sir Handsome, I'll send a message to Lestrade to have him join us.
Okay. So, it's going to the National Gallery, right? Okay, so can I go there now?
No. I must find a hansom.
Whatever that means, but I guess...
No, I have nothing to ask him. No, I have nothing to ask him.
Sir? Sir?
What does a handsome in this case mean? Something in the room? I think my English there lacks, or is it like a coachman? Is that what we need to do?
Ah, Lamb, good timing. Can you give myself and my friend Sherlock a lift?
With pleasure, Dr. Watson. The mistress, Miss Bromsby, gave me the day off. I'll wait for you.
Okay, that is handsome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and welcome to the National Gallery of Painting. As it's such a lovely day outside, you're the only visitors at the moment, and likely will be for the whole day, as the minimum number of people for a guided tour is...
We're not here to visit the museum, young man. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Sherlock Holmes, the famous detective?
Indeed, I have reason to believe that a theft is being planned that will take place here, perhaps as early as today.
A robbery?
Sherlock's voice is throwing me off a bit.
Reason to believe that is the case. We have contacted Inspector Lestrade at Scotland Yard, and he should be joining us momentarily. Meanwhile, rest assured that we are here in an official capacity. In the meantime, you can certainly help us. One of the paintings will play a part in the matter, but I don't yet know exactly which one. I do, however, have a few clues that should tell something to a specialist like yourself.
Ah, yes, of course. As it happens, I've only been working here for 3 days. Actually, I'm an apprentice, and my duties here are essentially administrative.
So he's Arsène Lupin? You know?
Tell, would I be correct in deducing that the elder of the two men that we can see up there is the director of the museum?
Yes, that is Sir Pointer. He could certainly assist you better than I, but at the moment he's terribly occupied and will be for some time.
But the location that you are proposing is unworthy of my work. All of my pieces are hinged
Look,
on
2D paint
color,
tubes and brushes.
the very stars.
That's what I love about the art
Extinguish?
in these games of like characters. Like they manage to kind of make things look 3D, but if you truly look at it, they're not really 3D
You would have
almost at all. So it looks really funny.
the whole length of the ceiling, and to use the most refined oil possible. Definitely not gas. And mirrors to reflect the light, along with some canvases in basic colors to bring out the contrasts.
We will do all that we possibly can.
Nevertheless, I insist that a number of my works must be on the main floor next to the large pieces.
But our rooms are already full, and, as you know, each has its specific subject. Too much modernism?
How can there be too much modernism? Modernism doesn't exist. Only art exists. Art is timeless. Art is cosmic.
Well, sir, perhaps we should continue this conversation in my office.
But I'm not really that deep into English history.
You must certainly
No, a little
know
bit,
of the
but
works that are
more
shown in the
world
museum.
history.
Description of each
So,
painting.
you know.
Yes, Sir
I know of
Pointer
Nelson, I
interests
didn't
me
know
to
that he lost an arm and an eye.
familiarize myself with the collection, but I lost it. I know I make a rather feeble archivist, but while I was doing a tour of the museum, the painting that Mr. Pointer is now dealing with arrived, along with cases full of canvases that he had to quickly inventory.
The case of the missing ledger. What do you make of it, Watson? Listen, Mr.
Palinur, sir.
Palinor, my friend and I will make our way through the museum in order to find the ledger. If you lost it while touring the museum and it wasn't back on the desk, then it must be in one of the galleries. Stay here and we'll return to see you when we have found it, and not a word of it to the director.
Certainly, sir. With many thanks, I will continue to do my inventory and await you.
Farewell, Palinor.
We'll talk to him about the blueprint later. So, yeah, Sherlock Holmes, in a lot of cases, he was very much so human.
Mess.
Like, there were a lot of cases where he didn't actually, like, tell people who the suspect was, because, like, there was a very good reason behind things and things like that.
By the great Spanish master Diego Velázquez, 1599 to 1660, painted from the golden century of Spain. It depicts a royal boar hunt. An apostle, Giuseppe de Ribera, 1591 to 1652. This canvas by Tiziano Vecellio, better known as Titian, is an allegory of prudence. It reads, "From the past, the man of the present acts prudently so as not to imperil the future. Wise advice."
I love to see all the paintings we have here.
French Painters Gallery. A portrait, Madame Moitessier, by Ingres, who is also a violinist on the side, like myself. A beautiful landscape by Boucher, Françoise, a master of colour in the Age of Enlightenment. A beautiful landscape by Boucher, Françoise. The Billet Doux by Françoise Boucher. The Battle of Genappe by Horace Vernet, one of the victories of the French Revolution. Horace Vernet, the Battle of the Hanau, which took place in 1813, the beginning of the end for Napoleon despite this victory. Watson, come quickly.
What is it, Holmes? What have you found?
A painting by my great-uncle, Horace Vernet. I had forgotten that his work could be found here. It is certainly this ancestor to whom Lupin made reference in his letter. Such talent, don't you think?
Who? Lupin?
No, Vernet. Lupin also, but in a different field.
Like the depiction of the people and things like that, like paintings like this must have taken such a long time. There's
Emperor
Napoleon.
I, or Bonaparte as we English prefer, painted by Horace Vernet. The Scale of Love by Jean-Antoine Watteau. Born in 1684, died in 1721. French painter, one of the first in the Rococo style, inspired by the Commedia dell'arte, who loved to depict theatre and festivities in his paintings. A canvas by Nicolas Poussin that tells of the discovery of Moses. Very nice. The Adoration of the Golden Calf by Nicolas Poussin, a classical French painter from the 17th century who spent most of his productive career not in Paris, but in Rome, on the fringes of the prominent schools of the era.
Yeah, this one we actually analyzed in school for a bit.
Jacques
Ugh.
Cazot, portrait by Jean-Baptiste Perronneau, born around 1715, died 1783.
He got pretty old for this
By
time.
Nicolas Poussin. A canvas by Joseph Vernet, my great-great-uncle.
Looks more like in Venice or something.
Horace Vernet, my ancestor. Magnificent, this landscape at sunset.
Beautiful ship.
Portrait of a woman by Perronneau, French school, pastel on paper. French Painters Gallery. There, it seems that we've found the famous ledger. It's written in shorthand and there are hundreds of entries. Let's bring it to the archivist. Sun Rising Through Vapor by William Turner. 40 years before Monet, Turner creates a new painting that dissolves forms in a quivering of atmosphere and light. The Evening Star by William Turner. The graceful transitional moment between day and night. Mr. and Mrs. Andrews by Gainsborough, an unfinished painting. An unrivaled landscape artist, he was obliged to do portraits in order to earn a living.
Not that you have information to all of them.
Gainsborough, an unfinished painting, but touching nevertheless.
Oh, this one is very
Canvas
familiar.
by William Turner, the painter of light.
Seen that one before.
Light from the Sea by William Turner. Here we have a precursor to Impressionism.
I want to see. There's something more interesting. I guess the people's portraits are fine. Oh, there's a parrot there.
Coburn and Her Three Eldest Sons by Sir Reynolds. English Painters Hall.
I'd say it's probably a French
The
painting
young
that
man seated at a
we
virginal, painted by Vermeer,
wanted.
Dutch painter of the 17th century.
Yes, Vermeer is a very great painter. Very, very famous.
An architectural fantasy painted by van der Heyden. Dutch Gallery. The Flemish artists are found here. A work by David Teniers, the younger. Peace and War, Rubens, the Old Master, painting probably executed in 1629 or 30, illustrating the hopes for peace between England and Spain, the painter's mission at the time. Rubens was, in effect, also a diplomat. Peasants at Archery, David Teniers the Younger, 1610 to 1690. Baroque, I would say.
Whoa.
Canvas painted around 1620. Unknown artist from the Flemish school.
I love the details, like, you know, paintings and paintings. That is so cool.
Look, a white horse standing by a sleeping man by Peter Verbeek, possibly derived from a 1652 print by Paulus Potter.
At least we're totally having just a look around the artistry in here.
Adoration of the Kings by Botticelli, bought by the National Gallery in 1878.
Botticelli, also a very famous Italian. Are we in the Italian gallery?
The Gallery of Italian Works.
Damn.
Ah, Venice, La Serenissima. This one from 1740 by Canaletto. The Supper at Emmaus, where the resurrected Jesus appears to his disciples, painted by Caravaggio, 1571-1610.
This
He
one
was a
looks
master
interesting.
of chiaroscuro, and the Caravaggism movement was named after him.
This one looks
Saint
interesting
Catherine
but
of
brutal.
Alexandria by Antonio de Solario in 1514, originally part of a triptych.
For those who don't know what a triptych is, it's like those mostly wooden pieces that you find in churches and things like that, mostly depicting holy pictures. The triptych, like, most of them could be folded, like the sides in to have like a flat part, but it like was standing openly on the altar in most cases. Yes, one of my classes in school was history
By
and
Darius,
art.
The family of Darius before Alexander.
Okay, I think that was all the galleries. Lovely tour. Now I never need to visit the British Museum ever. No, actually, I think it's probably way larger now and does hold like statues and things like that, but hey, might as well.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
Tell me, young man, would you happen to have a blueprint of the building in order to facilitate the task at hand?
Ah,
But yeah, very
yes,
interesting.
Yes, where did I put it? Oh, yes, here it is.
Oh, hi. Welcome, Marzitan. Sorry if I butcher your name. You're a YouTube follower. Glad to see you. Enjoy your lurk. Definitely.
Farewell, Palinor.
Okay. Let's find out. They said we should bring the ledger over, but like, the thing is like, how do we? Oh, you click on it. Maybe first, yes.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
It's okay, your word is a joke on the... your name, I cannot read apparently. Your name is a joke on the word Martian because you go by Mars. Ah. Okay. Nice. Yeah, names are a thing anyways on Twitch, like some of them are so hard
Ledger, my friend.
to read.
Found it! Many thanks. You won't say anything to Sir Pointer.
But yeah, we're
Sure.
playing
I'm familiar with how the entries are written.
Professor
Everything seems to be abbreviated.
Professor Layton, yeah. My brain is just a mess the last 2 days. Ignore that. We played Professor Layton before.
The location codes.
It's better than nothing at the moment. We're searching for a painting that has a connection to the Battle of Trafalgar.
Depicting what exactly?
According to this poem, it could be...
So, yeah, we're playing Sherlock Holmes, Nemesis, aka Sherlock Holmes, against Arsène Lupin, which is an older game, but definitely so far a nice one. In order to protect victory, we were put in the wrong and they made history. Here's a French name. Clearly that vengeance sound what I have in mind for this traitor sitting at his master's feet like a hound is to be run aground. My honor tonight to help break free binding so that all may understand our victory will take wing. For this traitor sitting at his master's feet like a hound to be run aground, huh? The Spanish Capes, probably, right? to be run aground, so something like a ship? What could it be? Maybe?
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
It's a boat.
It might refer to a boat. Its master was Admiral Nelson, and the thief...
Yeah, run it aground.
Moreover, the boat would have a French name.
Wait, I have a suggestion. A very popular painting, symbolic even, The Fighting Temeraire, a Turner. In this painting, Turner is described as having mastered painting techniques, and it
English
is one
painting,
of the
okay.
most beautiful English paintings of all time.
Interesting, so that's what he wants to steal.
By the French name of Temeraire, was involved in the Battle of Trafalgar and distinguished itself by protecting Victory, the flagship on board which was...
Victory, did you say?
Yes, Admiral Nelson was on board. Temeraire received a special distinction, but I am not certain of which. The painting shows it being towed to the breaker's yard, I believe.
Farewell, Palinor.
I think I know exactly that painting, and we just looked at it, and I said, hey, that painting looks very familiar. Not this one. Where was it? I think it was in the... Oh, that's stuttery. Was it this one? Yes. Bam!
I've been looking for.
That is exactly the one I mentioned, that it looks familiar to me. I've seen it before. Isn't that funny?
The Fighting Temeraire. Splendid. What do you think?
I agree, it's splendid. The existence of this painting would seem to give credit to this whole affair.
As long as this painting remains on this wall, this letter, even if it is eloquent and provocative, is nothing more than a letter. It is possible.
Oh my goodness, look at this head shape from the side. I didn't even realize that's wonky.
Enough as the theft will have to take place tonight.
We must warn the museum's director, Holmes.
You are correct, Watson. Shall we?
Well then. Yes, enjoy your lurk and enjoy whatever your plans were.
Superb.
There, Maestro. I believe that everything is settled.
This collaboration will be my crowning glory, my masterpiece. Merci.
I have finished the inventory of the works of art, Director. Oh, and I have the pleasure of introducing the great detective Sherlock Holmes and his companion, Dr. Watson.
Good day, gentlemen. It's with pleasure that I welcome you to our gallery. I trust that you are here for pleasure and not business?
I am afraid that is not the case.
Oh.
When it is no longer a matter of art, the artist must make his excuses. Messieurs, until we meet again, no need to accompany me. I know the way.
By the way, St. Lupin was the inspiration for
All of our most urgent questions. Tell me, who was that
greatest
man
villain in the Father Brown works from C.G. Chesterton.
Recommendation come from some of the grandest salons in Paris.
Horace Valmont, huh?
Let's take a look, Watson.
Yeah, he could be Lupin.
He's very avant-garde. He heard that we were showing the works of modern painters during our temporary exhibitions.
Or could be like
Has
in
loaned us a
codes
number
with
of
him.
paintings and has promised to donate those that have the greatest success to the museum.
Lestrade, just in time. And the Frenchman, Watson?
Gone?
Director, this is Inspector Lestrade from Scotland Yard. Lestrade, this is the Director of the National Gallery, Sir Pointer, and his assistant, Mr. Palinor. Lestrade, would you have your constable on duty guard the entrance and make sure that nobody comes into the museum? Director, is there anything else?
No, but...
If you would care to follow me, I'll show you what the motivation behind all of this is. The reason for this little gathering is this letter that I received at my lodgings this morning. Without getting into too much detail, it claims that this painting, The Fighting Temeraire, will be stolen tonight.
Pardon?
There now. It's because of a letter that you've disturbed me. You believe that?
I would never have taken the liberty to disturb you if this letter, the authenticity of which I must admit hasn't been completely confirmed, was not written by the one and only Arsène Lupin.
Arsène
Lupin.
Arsène Lupin?
Us? Arsenal? Who? Lou? What?
Arsène Lupin, the most wanted cat burglar in the world. We will know soon enough whether or not this letter is a fake, or if I had
They
reason
all
to disturb you.
speak his name very
But you
wrong,
must
which is
understand,
hilarious.
we couldn't take even the slightest chance.
Perhaps. Why not simply put this thing under lock and key in the bank or at Scotland Yard?
We cannot risk storing the painting in an improper environment or to entrust it to anyone who calls it a thing.
All that
Their paintings like this need to acclimatize to not fall apart, which is a very lengthy process.
What I propose, Lestrade, is to do a tour of the museum with Sir Pointer in order to check any possible points of break and entry, and leave 2 men on duty here tonight.
Sounds like a good plan, but I have the feeling he's gonna steal the painting anyways.
Close the museum to the public and not let anyone else in.
If you feel it's necessary.
And you, Holmes?
I'll pass by tomorrow at dawn. We'll know then what we're up against. Should the unthinkable have occurred, I insist that nothing is touched until I arrive. Is that clear? Let's be off, Watson.
It will happen. It will so happen.
Listen, Inspector, I have a lot of work to take care of. It would be better if I leave you to do a tour by yourself. You are, after all, a professional. Here are the keys to all of the...
Oh, are we gonna play Lestrade? That will be interesting.
I'll be in my office.
Well, I best inspect the museum to find any of Lupin's possible exits, including mice holes.
Yeah, we are control. That is so interesting. We get to control. Oops. We get to control Lestrade. That is really cool. Yeah, this door's here.
No exits on this side, nothing to report. It's dark in this box room. Good. No windows, no possible entry.
No, but a possible hiding spot. Huh. A lot of frames. This is the framery in the storage room, isn't it? And the touch-up painting.
There is a possible entry. If someone wanted to descend from the roof here, he'd need a lot of time, and it wouldn't be a quiet business. But I'd be wise to leave a man on duty here, and he will signal the alarm at any suspicious movement coming from the roof. Arsène Lupin. It's you and I now.
I mean, the thing is, it could also be swapped with a fake. Like, if you think about it. That has happened in a decent bit of stories. That there's some kind of fake painting, so, you know.
No exits on this side, nothing to report. No exits on this side, nothing to report.
I didn't click on anything and it said that, so that's weird.
No exits on this side, nothing to report.
Sure, it's not like there's a glass dome there. But hey. And of course here, in the entrance. Not about the director's office. No point of entrance, it looks like.
I will make sure there are no windows, and therefore ways in. Here.
Do your work. I will draw a map for you, Inspector.
Don't get a headache from thinking too hard.
I love how, like you can tell the text snippets have been spoken separately. This is funny. Okay, and then of course we have the entranceway.
Cannon to force this door down. The lock is too big to be jimmied, and I'll leave a man on duty in place. If Lupin does come, it won't be that way. Wait for tonight. There. The director and his underling have left. Time for us to play now. It could be that this whole robbery is nothing but nonsense. If not, we're prepared. And this Lupin will play right into our hands. I'll lock the main door to the museum, and you will be locked in. Jeffries is on duty in Trafalgar Square, and the yard is nearby. Nothing to worry about there. The doors leading in will be locked, but you will each have everything you need to open them. Stay hidden and cover your light so you cannot be seen from the roof. You, Lockhart, will be stationed near the painting itself. At the least provocation, go down to the entrance and sound the alarm. The walls are too thick, so you will have to go down for your whistle to be heard. In case of real trouble, be sure to fire with deadly accuracy, because if you even graze one of the paintings, your great-grandchildren will still be paying off your debts. Finally, you'll just have to be content with your lanterns. Gas is too expensive. Let's go, men. Keep your wits about you. You'll be relieved at 4 a.m.
Also, why is there no security guard in a museum like this, you know? Later. That like perfectly went through his legs. And he's gonna pass out. Bam. That's a fun toy. Very, sleep-inducing. Toys that are sleep-inducing. Aren't toys meant to be exciting? He likes fancy machinery, huh? And you knew where all the policemen were.
Go on, you cantankerous codger. You have work to do.
You're right, Holmes. The constable below was indeed asked to deliver us a letter. It's from Lestrade.
Nothing good can come from such urgency.
Yep.
Indeed, Holmes. This time, without doubt, the painting has disappeared. According to what he's written, they've turned the National Gallery upside down looking for it. Our presence is required immediately.
Well, Watson, the
Well, that went well.
Should we not have enlisted more men from the force to protect the painting?
I think that a whole brigade could not have stopped Lupin. And, of course, we can now be certain that it was he who was behind the theft. First and foremost, the police have a city and lives to protect, and we must respect that. Watson, a hansom will be hard to find at this hour, and Billy, our page, is sick. Would you be so good as to flag one down while I take a moment to reread this letter?
Yesterday, I was a doctor, and now I become a valet.
100%.
Got a light?
No, sorry.
Is it Sherlock Holmes who lives in these digs here?
Indeed.
Know him?
I do have that honor. I have been of some assistance to him on occasion. Like locating hansoms, for instance.
I say, you're his valet. So tell me, does your master pay well then?
But
I bet you're not above winning a bob or two, am I right? Listen, my friend, word has it that your boss is going to have a right fright tonight at the Picture Museum.
How?
Shh, listen, my good man. If you want to fill your pockets, here's my card. Piers Urquhart Allen, that's my name. Independent reporter's the game. Spill the beans about his biz, and I'll pay you well. Look for me in one of the pubs round here. You can't miss me.
If Holmes finds out that the press is onto this business, he'll be in an explosive mood. Best to avoid speaking about it.
He probably seen us through the window. Piers Urquhart Allen, independent journalist, huh? At a picture museum.
Ah, a hansom. Now to find Holmes and make our way to the National Gallery.
You've arrived at last, Holmes. We haven't touched anything while we were waiting, except for a ladder which we needed to climb onto the roof. You must have received my message. The painting was stolen.
Did your men see anything?
To tell you the truth, barely anything. There was nothing they could do. The only thing we know for certain is there were two people of athletic build who perpetrated this crime. We don't know if the burglars stole anything other than the painting in question, as they completely redecorated the museum with the paintings of a French artist that were at the entrance to the museum. The paintings that were on the walls are now crammed in the director's office.
Interesting.
Do you have any idea what happened?
Well, not really. I haven't managed to.
So they had more than enough time to like completely take apart the museum.
Window in the restoration workshop, and that the second man entered through there. But the first man was already in the museum before his accomplice. Yet I had a man in the restoration workshop all yesterday afternoon, and he only left for a minute in order to hear my orders. At no time could the first man have entered through the window. We would have either seen or heard him. The men on the premises confirm they didn't see anyone pass through the entrance until the alarm was sounded. And those two are the only possibilities. How did this man get into the museum, I ask you?
He was here beforehand.
Impossible, Lestrade. Whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
Famous words of him.
Where are the director and his assistant?
They're both in the office. Go gently with the director. He's close to having a fit. By the way, I noticed some traces of paint or something all over. I've asked everyone to avoid trampling on them until you've had a chance to examine them.
You're making wonderful progress, Lestrade.
Okay, I have an idea. Remember, the deliveries that we're standing in front of here arrived like close to the morning or noon on the previous day. So they may have been in one of the crates, you know, just left them here, and because of all the commotion, there was never time to check and unpack the paintings, so they just left them here.
Combination lock, a French brand. It looks extremely solid. Impossible to open it without knowing the combination.
Which totally works if you have one man going through the window and then opening it up, so you know. Huh.
What horrors?
Interesting.
What horrors?
Horrors? Really? That one looks quite good.
Christ driving the traders from the temple, canvassed by the Spanish master El Greco.
Okay, so he didn't really replace all of them.
A portrait, Madame Moitessier, by Ingres.
Okay, so this one he didn't replace.
Like myself. Belmont has unusual taste for a painter. There is something here.
Looks like a box or something, like there was a chair standing here or something, you know? That was then like swiveled.
A trace of black rubber. 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 These 4 traces of black rubber are identical and form a square.
Again, like a chair or something.
What horrors?
True horrors, what the heck?
This painting, a round red frame with some green in the middle. The inspiration behind this canvas is rather queer. A perfect example of neo-cretinism, a Valmont from his convalescent period.
Kind of cute though.
A work by David Teniers, the younger.
I wonder if like they were stored in the storage room already.
Closed.
As things were before.
It's too dark in here. I don't see anything.
Okay, hey, I need a lantern.
It's through there that one of our robbers arrived, and it's also through there that they must have escaped with the help of a ladder.
Okay, let's see if we can uncover who
Footprints, look.
did this robbery.
The foot brushed the paint. Someone wanted to warn the person who made the footprints of the presence of liquid on the ground, but too late. The man then went beneath the louver of the window to get out, probably with the help of a ladder. He was wearing shoes from France with supple leather non-skid soles, which have a distinctive design.
Interesting. Oh. Can you... Hello?
These footprints are size 9.
There we go. To be fair, there's a lot of paint here. Where's the balloon thing we saw?
These tools are for restoring paintings. The person who left these footprints stepped into the paint with his whole foot.
That doesn't look like it's the same person from before.
Those of common work boots.
Mm-hmm.
These footprints are those of common work boots. Size 10.
There we go. And you need to be specific with which you measure. That's okay.
It was through the skylights that one of the 2 robbers came in.
See, I knew they would go to the box or something like that.
The paint tracks come from the interior of the museum and stop there. It's curious, but I'd wager that the man who left these footprints rested here a moment while facing the wall and looking at something. Yet, these paintings aren't exceptional in the least.
No, but it's a crown jewel, and it's probably one of his next thieveries, you know? He's gonna steal them. Likely, very likely. The director's office. Like examine what they did with all the other paintings. That is quite a thing to do with like expensive paintings. Just like plop them on the floor. Didn't exchange the ones that are in the director's office though.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, such a tragedy.
Interesting.
Have you seen what these crooks have done to my museum? Paintings of incalculable value thrown in a heap like hay in a haystack. And the fighting temeraire.
Stolen. Yes, tell me about the
Now,
theft.
calm down, director. Do you know if they took anything other than this painting?
The director and I are in the middle of doing an inventory of all the paintings that were moved. We are not certain yet.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good. We'll be here if you have any further questions. Come, Palinor, back to the inventory.
Very important.
Can I borrow this lamp?
Unfortunately not. This room is poorly lit and we need it to work. Perhaps a bit later.
I'm overwhelmed by this inventory.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
Footprints, look.
That's from yesterday's sky, isn't it?
These are shoes with supple, non-skid leather soles of French manufacture with a distinctive design. These are, without doubt, the shoes of the French painter Horace Velmont.
They look very much similar to what we've seen in the other room.
Footprints are size 9. The footprints left by Horace Velmont's shoes and those made by one of the 2 crooks are absolutely identical. Lupin is a master of disguise. We met him in person yesterday as Velmont.
Thought so.
Can I borrow this lamp?
Unfortunately not. This room is poorly lit and we need it to...
Okay.
What do you want, Mr. Holmes?
Velmont.
The only one who will be happy is Velmont. His paintings now have the best spots.
I'd wager he's doubly happy, but he'd never come to show his gratitude in person.
Ah, and when will you be done with your investigation? so that we can put the paintings back in their original places.
A deadline will soon be
Thank you,
set, I
Anthony.
think. However, it is in our best interest to do it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good. We'll be here.
Can I borrow this lamp?
Unfortunately not. This room is poor.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Just hoping we found enough clues so we can actually get to the lamp.
The Spanish Painter's Gallery. What horrors! A perfect example of neo-cretinism, a Valmont from his convalescent period. What horrors!
Very blue.
What horrors!
Deputy. Oh, hold on. Nope, that's not the chair we're searching for. I still haven't found the chair, or if it was like a ladder, maybe.
Horrors.
That
Yes, this painting, a round red frame with some.
they used
The
for
inspiration behind this canvas
putting
is
out
rather
the
clear.
paintings in the other room.
The Ambassadors, 1533, by Hans Holbein the Younger. In the foreground, we can see a distorted skull, a symbol of mortality.
Holbein, the name giver of the paint brand.
Closed.
Oh, I didn't even
A
realize
large
this.
red square was painted on the floor, most likely by Lupin, but to what end? A large red square was painted on the floor, most likely by Lupin, but to what end?
Is it maybe the flooring? It's like tile flooring. Like a lot of these tiles actually were used in like palaces around the world. So actually you can buy like tile flooring like this, like parquet tiles in geometric shapes. They're just very expensive. I looked into that actually just yesterday because of the one of the Nerdforge videos where they made their Dark Academia room, and somebody was asking like what the tile's name was. So, you know, actually only looked into that yesterday. I don't see anything else much at all. I don't know what I'm missing. That's a bit annoying. There we go. How do I open the crate for the main entrance? Yeah. I guess the photo of Belmont mentioned include a crate. I could uncover the premise. There's a lot of things. So I'm missing something. I'm missing something. There must be like a information somewhere. And then I'm missing.
Footprints, look. This footprint is quite clear, like a footstep pressed.
Oh, come on.
This footprint is rather light. The man who left these footprints made a return trip. He was carrying something heavy when he climbed the stairs. Paintings, certainly. Size 10.
There we go. 10.5 footprints. The man who stepped into some paint restaurant occurs. He stopped at the right-hand side of the museum entrance as part where the piece of the least interest are exhibited. Is there anything? I mean, least interest, they're still very beautiful. And, you know, I would say he stopped where the crown jewels are, so...
It's a combination lock, a French brand. It looks extremely solid. Impossible to open it without knowing the combination. I have no reason to go there.
No, that's not what I intended to. So, where did he carry this? Because these footprints end all of a sudden. Like, I don't see anything on this floor. See the square here, but there's nothing really.
This painting depicts the gods Venus and Mars by Botticelli. This painting was exhibited for the first time in 1874 in the National Gallery. What horrors! What horrors! What horrors! What horrors!
You talk about a letter from Lupin, but I must have missed that somewhere. I cannot see anything at all.
What horrors!
Like, besides these marks, there's not much here. So, let's see something else. Letter.
The Spanish Painters Gallery. What horrors!
I'm missing something, and I have no clue what it is. Can I go back to the director's office now to talk to him to get the lamp?
What do you want, Mr. Holmes?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good.
Can I borrow this lamp?
Unfortunately not. This room is poorly lit and we need it to work. Perhaps a bit later.
There's nothing in here to be seen either.
I'm overwhelmed by this inventory.
I'm missing something, but what? There's a stool there, but it doesn't have the right shape. This door's stubborn. I want to go back to the... I go back to this room for a sec. I wanted to look at the chairs. And at this thing.
By jumping from this skylight.
But there's no like chair or easel that matches the...
Ideal to catch by jumping from this skylight.
Yeah, but that's not...
It's too dark in here. I don't see anything.
Yeah, I need a lamp, but I cannot get it from the director's office. Can I do that now? Do I have all the clues?
Can I borrow this lamp?
Unfortunately not. This room is poorly lit and we need it to work. Perhaps a bit later.
No. It's annoying. Let's look at the hints again. Oh, open a crate by the main entrance with that. 3 out of 10, huh? From the blue footprints. How can I link the footprints to a suspect? Two clues. I found one clue only. Okay. Gonna look at the blue footprints again. For them, maybe I missed like a... Nah, doesn't look like it. I think I got that. He said 2 clues. I found one. Found the marks on the floor.
What horrors! What horrors! Ah, Thomas Gainsborough, one of the most famous English portrait and landscape painters. What horrors! What horrors! What horrors!
Why did he not replace those?
Mr. and Mrs. Andrews by Gainsborough, an unfinished painting. An unrivaled landscape artist, he was obliged to do portraits in order to earn a living.
Oh, how about that?
There is something strange on the ceiling. I'll have to climb up to examine it, but Lestrade's men are using the ladder. I'll continue to inspect the museum while I await them.
Well...
Mr. Holmes, Inspector Lestrade wanted you to know that we no longer need the ladder. If you want it, it's near the director's office.
Okay, good. So we found enough clues for that, and I guess that's the letter from Lupin up there. I just completely missed it. Because it blends in a bit, that's okay. And look, that ladder, although with rubber feet, is likely the same thing we have here. Ta-da! Doesn't quite match, but similar. Don't have a problem with heights. No, actually I only have a problem with, like, wobbly ladders. If your initials are JL, the answer is yes. If not, greetings, Mr. Holmes. Our meeting yesterday was far too brief, but I bet that it won't be the last. Giving me great happiness that you're participating in this adventure, and even if the ending gives you displeasure, you will have been in the first row for the whole show. Please inform Inspector Lestrade. As you know, by contrary to his beliefs, I most certainly came in through the entrance. I always entered through the main doors, although leaving is a different matter. But enough of the past. Let's look ahead, shall we? After tonight, I will yet again steal one of the emblems of England's pride. My next target can be found somewhere in London, and it's up to you to identify it before I claim it. For this, I have left you several clues throughout the museum. Mind as brilliant as you should have no trouble finding and interpreting them. It's the crown jewels, I tell you. But will you be able to finish in time? To start, I've left some paintings on the walls that I didn't have the heart to replace with those from my personal collection. In observing them well and reading the following poem, you will have all the information necessary to determine the locations where I spent yesterday afternoon and the early evening. Small bit of advice, do not break into the fireplace. A painting of great value is inside and you will ruin it. Into the museum did I go that night, and where did I see Venus and Mars wrapped in white? A rainy day they arrived with much delight. You without doubt remembered with all might. Tired the horseman was sleeping near there without fear, his white horse standing tall, whispering to my ear. That one, I remember where that is. My lord, we were painted long ago, this is clear. Truthfully, my second choice, sir, was that here. Hendrik has been dead for ages, won't be coy, his skaters, young couple, man, woman, here, boy. They were his work. They were a duty to his joy. The length of his life is my favorite part of the ploy. My fourth is the year of purchase, I swear. Fish and cabbage, young boy and angel, quite a pair. First minus second, then times third. Do you care? Minus the fourth, figure it out, and you'll be there. Okay, so.
By Lupin, surely.
A reference to the paintings. So, the white horse and the sleeping man, I know where that is. The other one, not much joy.
Mrs. Andrews by Gainsborough, an unfinished painting. An unrivaled landscape artist, he was obliged to do portraits in order to earn a living.
That's not one of them. That's one of them. That's the skaters. Yes. It's very small though, so I must have missed it.
A winter scene with skaters near a castle by Avercamp, 1585 to 1634, one of the greatest painters from the Dutch school of the 17th century. He specialized in winter scenes. The painting originally extended into a square shape. A winter scene with skaters near a castle by Avercamp, 1585 to 1634, one of the greatest painters from the Dutch school of the 17th century. He specialized in winter scenes. The painting originally extended into a square shape.
Okay, but what was he saying about the winter scene? I need the ready with the studio tried, and I got his life is my third part of the play. Okay, so his life. I have that. That's the third. Okay, written that down. Next up, the horseman. What's this one?
Here's what I've been looking for.
Yes.
Look, a white horse standing by a sleeping man by Peter Verbeek, possibly derived from a 1652 print by Paulus Potter.
As white horse standing tall whispering to me, my lord, we painted long at oh, that's clear to feeling my second choice, sir. What is that year? Okay. So the next one would be the angels, and that's likely an Italian painting. Venice and Mars. There we go. In white.
I've been looking for. This painting depicts the gods Venus and Mars by Botticelli. This painting was exhibited for the first time in 1874 in the National Gallery.
That was the first. And then my first year of purchases were fish and cabbage and a young boy. Okay. Yeah. There we go. It's not an exit in the same. So, fish and cabbage and a young boy. There it is.
What I've been looking for.
The angel.
Tobias and the Archangel Raphael by Adam Elsheimer, German painter. The Archangel should ask what kind of bait he used. This canvas was acquired in 1894 by the National Gallery. It was based on the composition he had previously done. It seems that I have found the 4 numbers from Lupin's poem. Now, what do I do with them?
For first day of purchase. First minus second, then times third. Do you care? Minus the fourth. Okay, so I'm gonna use my calculator. I'm not gonna do this by head because my brain isn't. So, so first minus second is 1874 minus 1652 is 222. Then times the third. The third is the years of living. Is it his age? Because he lived from 1585 to 1634, so it must be his age, right? So times 34 plus 15 is... Really? He only got 94. 49, not 94. That is not 49 is really not all. So 222 times 49 is 10,878. Do you care? Minus the fourth figure out and you'll be there. Minus the fourth is 1894. So 10,878 minus 1894 is 8984. Let's hope this works. 8984. Interesting riddle, though. I kind of like the riddles. They're a bit different than what we had before. 9, 8, 4. Ha! I got it! Oh my goodness. So we have the painter's clothes.
Stomach, no doubt. There is also Velmont's cap and clothing.
Yeah, but also his legs were pretty thick, so...
It's the painting by my great-uncle. Look, there is a paper attached.
Should have had your fatal powers of my disguise from yesterday. No doubt you would have liked to have removed them from me while I was still wearing them. It's possible. Find me in a museum disguise like this and remove my postiches. Beware. Do book care and precision for I'm sensitive. That and the fact that you might destroy the next clue. Is it in a painting?
A half-empty bottle of champagne. To pass the time, no doubt. This is what must have happened. Lupin entered the museum disguised as Velmont. After our meeting, he pretended to leave, but in fact came to hide in the case that Palinor had emptied whilst doing his inventory. A hook permitted him to close the case from the inside, and he calmly waited until the time was right. Once alone, he got out and helped his accomplice enter through the skylight without fearing the police.
Thought so.
A wig and a cushion. For the stomach, no doubt.
Okay, there's nothing else really in here.
This is what must have happened.
I don't see any other clue in this box. So he mentioned like a painting. What you would have liked to have removed them from me. The parts of my disguise from yesterday. Yeah, where would you find the Frenchman? In the French gallery section, technically. Or where the wine is.
A large red square was painted on the floor, most likely the supper at Emmaus, where the resurrected Jesus appears to his disciples. The Gallery of Italian Works. What horrors! Dutch Gallery. English Painters Hall.
We know the French is over here, by the way. So...
Portrait of a Woman by Peronneau. French School. Pastel on paper. The Triumph of Pan by Nicolas Poussin. A portrait, Madame Moitessier, by Ingres, who was also a perfect example of neo-crit. What horrors! What horrors! What horrors! Self-portrait.
Ah, there it is.
A bit narcissistic, that one. This painting has an oil base, but is covered in a fine coat of water paint. I should ask the director how to remove it.
Probably with the water from the storage room, right? But he said, ask the director first, so I need to ask the director first.
What do you want, Mr. Holmes?
Now, calm down, director. Do you know if they took anything other than this?
The direct...
Sorry to disturb you, gentlemen. Can you explain how to remove a fine layer of water paint that is covering an oil painting?
It's simple. You'll need some water to soften the paint, a paintbrush with rigid bristles to...
Thank you.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good.
There's still at the inventory, which is no wonder, because it was a large amount of painting. So let's go to the storage room. So, a sponge, a stiff bristle brush, and water, which actually Sherlock Holmes would have known. He wouldn't have had to ask, but that's okay.
Water.
So we got the water, and we got the sponge and brush. How convenient that they're together. But yeah, oil paints clearly aren't susceptible to water. They are only susceptible to solvents. So, you know, makes a difference.
You and I, Lupin. I need something. I need something. I need something.
Yeah, the water.
I need something. I need something.
Now I could combine them, that was weird. So I guess we... Oh, this is gonna take ages. Do we really have to do that with all of the painting? Oh my, oh my. I guess we do. This is a bit tedious game, maybe don't do that. Could have given us a larger brush, but no. To be fair, it's a decent self-portrait. Although I don't care how I painted like the red of the velvet, but the rest is actually pretty good. But yeah, who is hiding underneath? Is it the queen for the British Crown Jewels? Or like a guard or something, you know? I don't know. But again, because again, the British Crown Jewels must be one of the hints. Because he stood before a painting of that. Oh no, we have to remove all of that. Already annoyed. Or is it like a... Oh! Huh! It is his true face, Arsène Lupin's true face, so... Please don't tell me we have to remove all of this. This is tedious. I mean, it's a very fun mechanic, but it takes ages, so I don't know. Stuff is the one thing that stays, and I guess the rest of his clothing changes too. And there must be a hint somewhere. But yeah, he said undress me, so that's what we did. But it seems like he is indeed a better painter than what he let us think. Please tell me I just have to wipe away stuff of Lupin and not the rest. Because, you know, doing this for 5 minutes wouldn't be the best in the game, but that's fine. Oh, there's the thing we're searching for. Didn't dissolve that one. Or didn't soak that one, I should say. Or it did, and it doesn't want me to. No, it wants me to remove it. It just has like the side of the sponge is what works and not the middle. I guess we have to remove everything since he didn't actually like separate. If we can click on.
There is a bright
Okay, we can.
C written on this calling card in addition to a poem. This letter must be the beginning of a word or phrase. Now to find the others.
The red surrounding the green is right, but for a clue you must look on inwardly. If nothing is found despite your great might, my success will make you green with envy. The red surrounding the green isn't right. There's only one red surrounding the green, hold on, that I remember as commented. And that is...
There must be something here. Stay alert now. A piece of the frame is breaking off.
Bam! Great paintings, rectangular, square, hanging in rooms very much like this. Different one from the northern air. Count 6 sides, no turns you can't miss. 6-sided painting, huh? 6-sided painting.
Adoration of the Kings by Botticelli, bought by the National Gallery in 1878. A
6-sided
large
painting.
red square was painted on the floor, most likely by Lupin, but to what end?
Does it truly mean a 6-sided painting? Is there one like that? I haven't seen any. But like the one thing I know I've seen where the painting is different
A winter
shape.
scene with skaters.
No, that's not what you're searching for. Let's read that again. Red paintings, rectangular or square, are hanging in roofs very much like this. Different one from the northern air. Called 6 sides as the needle turns you can't miss. Hanging roofs very much, different one from the northern air. Different one from the northern air. Must be one of
What
his.
horrors? What horrors?
Must be one of
What
his
horrors?
paintings, right?
What horrors?
Different one from the northern air.
What horrors? What horrors?
All of the clues have been on his.
Example of neo-cretinism, a Valmont from his convalescent period. What horrors? A perfect example of neo-cretinism, a Valmont from his convalescent period. What horrors?
I'm confused.
What horrors? What horrors? What horrors? What horrors? What horrors? What horrors? The artist of this painting wished to depict the total rejection of aestheticism, and he succeeded. What horrors?
This is not like 6 sides, this is 8. So it's a octagon. That can't be what he means.
What horrors?
Cat with fishes.
What horrors? Velmont has unusual taste for painter.
Oh, does it mean
What
this one?
horrors?
No.
What horrors?
Well, because of the cool
What horrors?
tones.
The artist of this painting wished to depict the total rejection of aestheticism, and he... Velmont has unusual taste for painter. It's Pointer, the museum director, who is on display here. Amusing. What horrors?
Yeah, true. Kind of funny.
What horrors? What horrors? Saint Catherine of Alexandria. What horrors? What horrors? What horrors? What horrors?
Trying to figure out
What
what painting he
horrors?
means, but I'm kind of stunned.
What horrors?
Because hexagonal, what does he mean? What does he mean? What does he mean? What does he mean? Is there a room with that shape with like exits? Like, I've seen like in the note the painting here, but like a different one from the northern air side. As the needle turns, you can't miss 1, 2. I mean, he must mean the same room, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, right?
What horrors?
But I don't see anything. Or is it this one?
Elementary.
Okay. Somber corner under a white cloth. To ensure success, look for the red. Will not be inside, but be not worth. It's not possible if you use your head. Okay. On the white cloth, the only thing under the white cloth we know is where he landed. If one thing, he has a knack for riddles. That's the only white cloth I could remember, but I guess that's not it. So, somber corner under a white cloth. Look for the red. It will not be inside, but not rough. Okay, so the red is likely this one.
A large red square was painted on the floor, most likely by Lupin, but to what end? What horrors?
But not for... Somber corner and a white cloth. To ensure success, look for the red. On the white cloth in the somber corner. These are not white.
The supper at Emmaus. What horrors? What horrors?
Like, not on the sailcloth, maybe? No. Somber corner on the white cloth. Look for the red. Will not be inside, but not worth. It's not impossible if you use your head, so look up or something. I have no clue. Okay, darker brooding. Okay, so yeah, see, my English isn't
What do you want, Mr. Holmes?
that good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good.
I want the
Can I
lamp.
borrow this lamp?
Yes, we are almost.
Yes,
finished.
that's good.
Isn't that right, Eleanor?
I don't care if you're finished or not. I need this lamp to go into the dark room to find the white cloth. Okay, let's see. Whoops. Come on. Ah, wrong key. There we go.
This bucket contains something extremely heavy. I can't move it. A bucket with a red perimeter. Not bad.
And
There is something here.
no. Under book key of life fair, the directors sleep in their young by a quarter of an hour. You shall receive the power. I would say that is indeed the picture of the director sleeping over in this corner.
It's Pointer, the museum director, who's on display here. Amusing.
Great Uncle Roth and the grandfather both did proud the name Vernay. The clue will lead you to a race on the Tiber. Decide which painting it is and don't sway. Okay. Race on the Tiber. This one.
Here's what I've been looking for.
Huh. Either which one?
A
This
canvas
one.
by Joseph Vernet, my great-great-uncle. A canvas by Joseph Vernet, my great-great-uncle. Why, these two paintings appear identical.
Something must be different.
Haha, Lupin seems to be setting the example. I'm in need of a lamp. Haha, Lupin seems to be setting the example. I'm in need of a lamp.
Need of a lamp, huh? Is it, hold on, is it the lamp close by or is it meant for... Okay, no, I think we need the lamp that we had in the other room, maybe. Maybe we do. Hopefully we can pick it up again, that would be nice. We can! Hey! Oops. I was clicking one too many times. I mean, so far this is very interesting riddle-wise. I'm sure this is good and safe. Huh.
I will recopy all of that to better study it.
Yeah, it's hard to read. 9 paintings with so much in common. Theme and colors. Carrot, brown, red, green, yellow, and blue. Put the colors face to face, help them to align, and the last letter found will give you a clue.
What horrors?
The only ones that are really like 9 painting with so much in common. Theme and colors. Brown, red, green, yellow, and blue. Okay, 9. This is not 9. Also not 9.
What horrors! This must be one of the 9 canvases. They're hanging art made by 3. What horrors! What horrors! What horrors!
Okay, hold on. Items. Words. Documents. Brown, red, green, yellow, and blue. 9 paintings.
What horrors! The Spanish Painters Gallery.
Not what I wanted to click on.
What horrors! They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without. What horrors! What horrors! They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without. What horrors! What horrors!
Oh, come on, this one's kind of cute. Garfield-esque. I guess this one.
They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without.
6 if I counted right? Oh, come on.
They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. They're
7.
hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without.
8.
They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds.
Yeah, and I can do without this comment a million bajillion times. This one should be the last one though.
They're hanging art made. I have all 9 paintings now, I think. Think.
Okay, so I need to puzzle them, huh? It seems to fit. Some doesn't. Doesn't look like it should be difficult to puzzle this, but if to line up, it's kind of a bit difficult. And then what is it that I need to do anyways? Put the colors face to face, help them to align. Okay, yes, so I need to make them fit like I make this one fit. I want to put that one in the middle. As well, and on the corner. I don't really have any other piece that ends on a corner. And we cannot turn them. Oh my goodness, we can turn them. Okay, that is amazing to know. Now we can turn them. There we go. Not quite. There we go. So you're probably belonging to here, you to here. Is that a C or something? Or an S. I didn't know you could turn them. There we go. It must be right.
Proposes another riddle. I must have found all of the clues. However, I haven't made any progress. Perhaps the director might know more.
Let's talk to the director.
Holmes, the day is drawing to a close. Can I finally reclaim my museum?
Tell me, director, does this word mean anything to you?
Yeah, what word did I find? C O R O Coroni.
No, that word doesn't mean anything to me.
I must have made a mistake. Time to think.
Coronis.
Coronis?
Yes.
Yes, we have a painting entitled Apollo Slaying
Coronis. I forgot the
It's
S
an
that we
old
just
one.
uncovered.
Let me show you. Palinor?
Here it is.
This painting is rather simple and doesn't seem to be hiding anything special. Can you tell me the history of this piece?
It was created in approximately 1617 by Domenichino and his assistants. It doesn't belong to us, but is on loan temporarily by its owner. It represents the god Apollo using an arrow to slay his lover, Coronis, because of her infidelity.
That's all?
Yes, that's all. Well, Holmes, where are we? It's dark outside. I can't keep going any longer. Not one witness within a half-mile in any direction. It would seem the men disappeared like ghosts.
What is the note that you're holding?
Oh, yes, a constable asked me to bring it to your attention. It could be from Lestrade, as we were separated over an hour ago.
Look around destiny in the painting. It was there, but never did she know. Always around a black shadow, not seen in the painting. This E6 more missing.
Incredible. Lestrade has also started using...
It's not from Lestrade.
This note didn't come from Lestrade, Watson. It's Lupin who sent it. Mr. Pointer, what could he mean by a black shadow and not in the painting?
Yes, yes. In the legend, it's Apollo's bird, a raven, who reveals Coronis' infidelity to him. Thus, the raven, who is at the heart of the matter, is curiously absent from the painting.
Anyway, our latest message from Lupin states, tonight, 6 more missing. Do you have the map of London with you, Watson? Get it for me if you would.
6 ravens, huh? The only one that I can say has ravens is the tower.
Yes, Watson, the Tower of London Ravens. If ever the Ravens leave the Tower of London, the British Empire will fall. Lupin wants to capture them. Watson, there isn't a moment to lose. Find a hansom while I leave some instructions for the director.
You were quiet during the whole trip in the hansom.
Night of July 15th to 16th, 1895.
Simply to reveal nothing to the public and claim that the appearance of a strange mildew on certain paintings has forced the museum to close. This quarantine will permit us to avoid the press from aggravating this already embarrassing situation.
But if Lupin pursues his scandalous idea and actions, we won't be able to silence all of the talk that will ensue all over the city.
Exactly, Watson. All we're doing is giving ourselves a bit of time.
Also, Arsène Lupin gave him a clue in the morning and Watson didn't tell him.
Thrown me headfirst into this business because if he succeeds, my name will eternally be associated with this adventure and synonymous with failure.
But
Yeah.
you'll get the upper hand, won't you, Holmes?
We'll see, Watson, that we will.
Who goes there?
My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend Dr. Watson. We are here at this late hour to meet with the Chief Warder. A recent event has led us to believe that some harm may befall the security of the buildings and goods under his responsibility.
Stay here and wait a moment. Above all, do not deface the walls.
Oh, so it has happened before. Either way, this is... Double safe, never hurt nobody. This is where I'm gonna have to end today. The case with the Ravens of London, the second of 5, is gonna be tackled tomorrow, I guess. So far I have to say I quite enjoyed the game. Like, it's quite interesting how they made the riddles. Some obviously are a bit more tedious, but like, besides like some small hints I needed because I didn't see the letter up top and things like that, like, I think I got most of them pretty much figured out myself, which actually worked out greatly. So yeah, that was actually quite fun so far. Let's see. What are they doing? And what are they doing? Loki want to draw a mermaid tonight. Maybe because it's actually mermaid, technically. Another one of these art challenges, monthly art challenges. But yeah, let's rate Sapphire Night with their art. For those who don't know Sapphire Night, they're mainly doing art streams, but also they really love Hollow Knight and the characters based on that. And yeah, they're great of fun watching them make their art, but they also sometimes play like riddle, horror, story-based games, things like that. Very nice streams, usually. Very calm, very interesting, very nice to sit on the side, listen to. And also their frog costume on their night character looks really, really cute. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow with more of this game, and hopefully we will uncover the case of the Ravens of the Tower. And ending with a sneeze, great. And also I finally got the yarn in, actually, or I got it in yesterday. So we can actually on Thursday in a crafting stream, or a Minecrafting stream, I can actually work on a swaplu more. Yay, we're gonna make the wings. I'm excited for that. I cannot wait to see what the head looks like, all fluffy on my head, because, you know, again, I didn't get a sneak peek. Also, I did have to order the grey yarn for the beak, because I tried my best to make it work with the small amount I had left. It just really didn't. Like, I used all of it up and I had like half the size I needed. So I also ordered grey, that also arrived. So we can actually finish hopefully on Thursday with the swaplu head. I'm really excited about it. And yeah, I hope y'all will have a lovely rest of your Sundays and hopefully a good Monday with not too stressful work if you have work on tomorrow. And hope to see y'all back tomorrow evening. Have a good one.